Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your host, Jeff Thomas. If you're looking for more spiritual adventures with the Lord, and if you'd like to live that lifestyle for yourself and develop that relationship with the Lord, go ahead and start by clicking that subscribe button down below. This is the channel for you. Now, without further ado, we are still in the Healing Adventures playlist, so that's where we will continue going until the Lord tells me to change the topic. So, on this particular healing adventure, I was at work, and we don't necessarily have a break room. We have a break hallway kind of area, and I was heating up my breakfast for champions, and it was oatmeal. And so I'm sitting there, I'm heating up a breakfast, and there's a guy that I usually talk to about the Lord all the time, all of the amazing things that the Lord is doing, not only in my life, but in his life, and all of these specific adventures that we've been on and things like that. And so while I was heating up my meal, he came over and we were talking about the Lord. And while I was talking about getting hot and praying over people, I started getting really, really hot. And so I cut the conversation short, and I said, "Hey, do you mind if I pray for you?" He said, "No, I don't mind." But he kind of looked at me like I was crazy for a second. I said, the only reason that I say that is because right now, as I'm speaking of getting hot, that's like the cue for me to pray over the specific person that I'm having a conversation with. That's me and the Lord's conversation, or that's me and the Lord's understanding. Whenever I get hot, it's time to pray, because that's that power that is coming over me, and he wants to release it on the person that he chooses. So he said, "Sure, come on to the office." And so he's like a director or a supervisor. So we go over to his office, close the door. And I said, "Okay." And I put my hand on his shoulders and I began praying. Well, while I started praying this specific time, I didn't see anything, but on my back left shoulder, I could feel a presence. And then on his front, like right behind him, I could feel a presence. But I didn't open up my eyes. I just continued praying. And before I knew it, the entire room was like, it was like waves of like heat. Like the heat was bouncing off of the walls is what it felt like. And when I get done praying, after about 10 minutes, I look up, and and this guy's bald, he had beads of sweat all over his head, and it was just like coming down his face. And I looked up and I was like, "Whoa!" And he was like, "Yeah, I know, man. He said, I've never been prayed over like this before. It's different." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I don't know what he does when I get hot, but that heat is always transferred. I think it's just some type of form of power or something." Well, the thing was 2 weeks later, I didn't know that this guy actually had a health issue. He had always had a problem with his sciatic nerve, and he had been praying for it to be healed. Okay? And miraculously, I was just the person that the Lord sent. And I'm so happy that I was used to heal this guy, But the thing is we were getting off the elevator, and he said, "Well, Jeff, you didn't know this, but I have always had a problem with my sciatic nerve." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "After you prayed for me, the pain is gone. It's completely gone, and it never came back." And I was so baffled by that. I was so excited over that and baffled at the same time, because while I was praying, I was just praying for a mix of everything. I was doing a little spiritual warfare. I was praying for healing. I was praying for his family. I didn't know what to pray for. The Lord didn't necessarily give me a direction. All I knew was that the Lord wanted me to pray over this guy. And then that was it. And so I mean, it was just so amazing. So in your life, just provide that opportunity for the Lord to move by starting to take steps of faith, whether that's at Walmart, whether that's in the restroom, whether that's wherever you are. Start learning how the Lord communicates with you. For me, I start getting hot, and then that lets me know, hey, the Lord wants me to pray over you. Let's get to it. But for you, you might start getting cold, or you might feel a gust of wind, or I don't know, But the Lord has a specific language that he speaks to all of us. And mine is just heat, so I know to go and pray. But get out there and start taking those steps of faith and start being used in the miraculous. You guys be blessed, and I hope this testimony was a blessing to you. Have a good one.